Hello there, Star Wars fans. Today I want to take you through the story of how Palpatine discovered his soon-to-be apprentice, Maul, on Dathomir as he was just a baby. And it's kind of tragic in a way, and I'll go through it, tell you why, but it's my thought that the Force kind of brought these two together, as it was a wild set of circumstances that led to Palpatine finding him. I believe in Star Wars, the Force is just the power that kind of controls all, and brought these two together. But anyways, we're going to get into that. Please do leave a like, please do subscribe, and yep, there's going to be a fan fiction coming out later today. It'll be part 1, with part 2 releasing tomorrow. I'm really excited about it. I think it's going well so far, so check that out. But anyways, let's get into today's story. So, Palpatine had been training with Plagueis for about 11 years at this point, and Palpatine was extremely interested in worlds all over the galaxy that were surrounded by the dark side of the Force. But naturally, Plagueis refused to bring Palpatine to these worlds, at least for now up to this point. He was depriving him of his cravings in order to bring Palpatine down the path of the Sith, in order to unlock hatred and greed and anger inside of him. Plagueis just refused to, give Palpatine a lot of what he wanted. But one day, with Plagueis off experimenting on midichlorians to control them and preserve life, Palpatine went off on his own to a world strong in the dark side of the Force. Upon landing and exploring a bit, Palpatine sensed a being strong in the Force. So, he followed his senses to a local market where he sensed out a human-looking woman who was carrying a small bag the size of a suitcase. Palpatine allowed himself then to be felt in the Force, basically unlocked the Force around him, allowing this woman to immediately lock eyes with Palpatine, as she then scrambled over to him. Palpatine said he wasn't going to give her any credits or anything, saying she needs to just kind of get out of here. He's not giving her anything. But then, the woman did something Palpatine did not expect at all. She pulled a child out of her bag. A Zabrak male, just a newborn baby, with tiny horns on its head. And it was painted red and black. Palpatine looked it over, examined how the child felt in the Force, how the woman said the child was strong in the Force. Palpatine asked what the child was called. The woman said Maul. She requested that Palpatine take him. She didn't want Maul to be a slave to the Night Sisters his whole life. She wanted Maul to have a happier life, a freer life, a safer life. And it's tragic here, because this mother, was giving away her child because she didn't want her child to have a bad life. She wanted the child to be off having a good life somewhere else. With, as Palpatine was, another Force sensitive. But at the time of this, many people didn't know what the Sith were. They didn't believe in evil Sith beings, as the Jedi had kind of, taken over everything. The light side of the Force was all that anyone knew. So she sensed out the lights, or the Force, and Palpatine went up and gave him Maul. Palpatine was hesitant at first. Of course, he didn't want to take a child, but ultimately, he decided to take Maul. Not sure what path he would take Maul down throughout his life, but he decided to take the boy. And of course, that's the tragedy that begins for Darth Maul, as he was taken from his village by Palpatine, who had no plans to give him a happy life, to give him a safe life, but rather to turn him into a hateful, vengeful, angry Sith Lord. It's a tragedy, it's sad, and honestly, it's a cool story. If you want to read it yourself, you can find it in the Darth Plagueis novel, a novel that I finished recently, and a novel that I'm kind of going through making videos on as I go through it again, trying to find interesting topics. I've made some others on that, so check that out. But overall, Darth Maul being found by Palpatine on Dathomir, birthed to be a slave and with the Night Sisters, instead being sent away with Palpatine to be a Sith Lord. That's the story. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've heard this before. And overall, thank you for watching. Appreciate each and every one of you. Fanfiction out later today, and then part 2 tomorrow. It's a good one. Stay tuned, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.